Good morning! Okay, so today I went all Navy SEAL and got up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I've already done a ton of work, which is great. It's now 10 o'clock and I've still got a ton of work to do, but I am way ahead of everything now. So, what have I got to do? Wow, let's have a... So I've got to do tax return, I've got to do email campaign, I've got some gear to sort out, I've got my pedalboard to finish off, I've got my acoustic guitar to finish off, and I've got video editing to do, and this vlog to do too. Cool, huh? Having my cake. I'm going to talk a little bit about my success, and whether I am successful or not. That is the question. Somebody wise once said, a dream without a date is a dream, and a dream with a date is a goal. Or something. Alright, so I'm not sure whether any of you that have been watching me recently recognise this. This is a 5-watt Class A valve amp that I built many years ago, and it's been in the loft, so I'm going to fire this up because of the 1x12 vintage 30 cab that I've been sent. So I'm going to plug this through it with my new pedalboard setup and see what it sounds like. See what it sounds like. That's never made sense. See what it sounds like. Should be hear what it sounds like, right? And there it is, humming like all good guitar amps should. So this is just the amp, no effects pedals, nothing, just dry into the amp. So I'm gonna stick some effects in it and see what it sounds like. See what it sounds like, hear what it sounds like. Broken lead. Meow, meow, meow. So there's my pedal board all sorted out and looking neat. I've got it going through now into the 5-watt hand wired by me amp and the Harley Benton vintage 30 1x12. Yeah. Oh. Now, success. The achievement of desired visions and planned goals is a definition of success. Am I successful? Yes, extremely successful. Am I rich? No. Am I famous? No. Are they goals? Not necessarily. But I'm still successful because I set out on a mission, because I set out to make my living from music, which I have done, and I set that goal years ago, and I worked towards it as hard as I could, and I've pushed into it as hard as I can, and I am now there. So, am I successful? Yes. One, you've got to believe in yourself, and that is the most important thing. Even when everyone around you is telling you, no, you shouldn't do it, you're not good enough, it's not going to work. If you don't believe in yourself, then just quit, because it won't work. You've got to stay 100% with your own self. You break it, you break it. The glass ceiling that holds you down. These are the rules I followed. 1. Believe. Believe in yourself and believe that you can do it. Simple as that. Secondly, learn. Learn as much as you possibly can. I went back to college, I did a music degree, I studied with some of the finest musicians that I could get my hands on. I then did a teaching degree straight after that. I still do extensive research online on what's going on with social media, and I'm working towards building my social media presence and things like that. There's just so you can never learn enough about every aspect of what your goal is, whether that's studying your instrument, studying the marketplace, finding out what music works. It's just endless. So learn, and never stop learning. Alright, trust yourself. What I mean by this is be very careful who you trust. The only person you can really trust is yourself. You're the only person that's going to be true to you. You will meet lots of people on the journey, lots of people will make promises, lots of people will let you down, and it's being able to pick yourself up and carry on when this happens, because this will happen, and it will happen a lot. A lot of the time people aren't doing it intentionally, a lot of the time people aren't out to destroy you, most of the time they're not. But they have their own goals, they have their own journey, and at the end of the day, they're going to do what's best for them, and not for you. Be a wolf, not a sheep. Another saying that I heard recently, which I think is really good, is those that follow the crowd only go as far as the crowd. So be a wolf, don't be a sheep. Try different things. Yeah, fine, you still need to do the fundamental things, which will involve following the crowd to get to a certain point, but then you're only going to go that far unless you try to do something different. You're not going to stand out if you're amongst a whole crowd that all look the same. Grow a thick skin. No matter how good you are, how talented you are, how good your show is, your product, whatever it is you're doing, there's always going to be somebody that is going to knock you down, and for many reasons. Negativity is going to come your way for many reasons. Whether it's justified, you've got to decide whether it is justified. You've got to decide whether you actually agree with the negativity that you're getting about a certain thing. You've also got to think about who's saying it, where this is coming from. You know, it hurts, but that's not constructive at all to me. But if it's someone that I admire, somebody that I look up to, is telling me, man, that wasn't that great, you need to work on this, work on that, then I will take that constructively. So it's all about where that negativity is coming from. So yeah, and this will happen a lot, and you'll get knocked on your ass a lot, and you just got to come back stronger. If it's not working, then it's probably not going to work. Another great saying is, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if you're doing something just because everyone else is, or because you feel it's the right thing to do, and you're doing it over and over again, and it's not, your career isn't moving forward, then you need to step away and try something else. I am very guilty of this, and I've been trying to do the same thing for years and years just because everybody else is doing it, and it's not working out. So it's time to change direction and do something else. Have a plan. You must have a plan. Have 2 plans, have 3 plans, have 4 plans, have lots of plans, have mini plans. For me, it is the ultimate goal is for me to earn a good living, playing my own music. I want to buy a house, I want to buy a nice car, I want to help my family, I want to travel the world, all these things. But that's the big goal. So you need to have mini goals, which is going to enable you to get to that bigger goal. You're not gonna reach the finish line until you take your first step, you know. So have many goals to start with. So for me, it was, okay, I want to quit my job. I want to play music. How am I going to do this? Okay, well, I can do covers. I can play covers. I can sing and play guitar. I can do that. I can go and get work in a pub. I can get paid for that, etc., etc. Look at that first. Do that, and then move on to the next thing. Okay, final one for the moment. Don't dig yourself into a rut. Once you get to a level of success, it's very easy, and I've seen this with a lot of musicians, and they get to a certain point and then they get comfortable, and then they stay there, and they stay there, and they don't move, and they end up doing the same circuit, doing the same gigs year after year. Yeah, fine, they're earning a living, and fine, they might want to do that, but having spoke to a lot of them, they don't want that. They're tired of it, they're bored of it, their creativity is squashed, they're tired of doing the same thing all the time, living out of suitcases, blah blah blah. But it's become safe for them, and then they become too scared to try something new and move on in case it fails. So don't stay somewhere too long, which is what I'm doing. I've reached a place, and I've been doing the same thing now for a few years, and you know, I can make some money, and I can pay my bills, and you know, and I get these gigs. I don't want that to be the rest of my life. That's not going to buy me my house and enable me to travel, enable me to help my kids and my grandkids. You know, that's just going to keep me sustained in that place. So don't get stuck in a rut. But this is where I am in my journey so far, and this is where I'm going. So hopefully it's useful for you. I'm going to carry on with the vlog. Carry on with the vlog now. Right on, it's a list. So what I've really got to do urgently, what I've got to do this today and the rest of this week. Right, so I've got to start my tax return. I've got two weeks to get it in. I've got to do an email campaign. Venues. I've got to email some venues to get the bread and butter gigs, because I've still got to earn some money. That's really urgent, those two. And I need to, there's a couple of issues with some gear. I've done the amp. I also need to plan some promo vids for the original stuff and the cover stuff, which is going to be a lot of work. I might get my daughter to help me if she's got time, but that's maybe next week. And I've also got to get the single out. So there you go, this is what I've got to do. As a matter of urgency, all these things need doing. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to start getting my tax return underway, and what that will involve is sorting my receipts out. Nice big pile of receipts. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you like my YouTube show, hit like and comment and get involved. If you dig my vibe, then hit subscribe and never miss an episode of my YouTube show. Peace. Till next time.